All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be back with you guys after a wonderful 4-day weekend. Many of you were inquiring where was Chat Daddy last night. I thought I told you guys last week that I was taking Monday night off, and I do apologize. It was a wonderful Monday evening for me to be able to get things together that I needed to take care of. You know how that works, right? Even though we're on quarantine, there are still things you must take care of. Well, I have another great show planned for your viewing and listening pleasure this evening. We have so much to talk about. Tonight is day 2 of the Democratic National Convention. As you guys all know, last night our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, delivered a gut-punching speech last night, and we'll talk about that, as well as the post office is having a lot of drama these days. We don't know what's going on with our post office. Some people are getting mail, other people are not. We'll talk about the latest COVID-19 update. And here's the deal. Tonight I have not one, but I have 2 co-hosts, because we decided that every conversation we have this evening, we need to have a female opinion and voice in the conversation. And who is more sassier and on point than our girl entrepreneur, motivational speaker, the best damn sweet potato pie baker I know this side of the Mississippi. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show my girl, your girl, Miss K. Renee Mason. Yay! What up, Boo Bear? Hey!
How you doing, Chad?
How are you this evening?
I'm good.
Good. How you doing this evening?
Good. Thanks so much for bringing me back. You know I love you, and anytime you need me, I'll always be there for you.
All right, darling. Well, it's a pleasure to have you back, and we're having a little audio difficulties, but don't worry about it. We'll get it straightened out as we continue on with the show. And then our next co-host is no stranger to the show either. He's been here with us many times before. He's a Broadway actor, educator, proud dad, husband. But here's the deal. He's my good friend, and we go way back, and we just love to talk about things that affect people the most. Welcome back to the show, my good friend, Mr. Damone Seraphin. Hey, brother, how are you?
Hey, Damone. I'm so glad to be back. Thank you for having me. Excited to stir up the pot again.
Yes, every time you stir up the pot, you cause a stank, and then you depart. That's what you do. You stir the pot. And then leave. You know what I'm saying? That's just like somebody cooking something so good, and you be like, you don't put your foot in this, and really you wonder, did they put their foot in this? Because this is so good. But that's what you do, and you do it well, my friend. You really do. Well, I'm honored to have both of you back. There's so much we need to cover and talk about this evening. And I just felt it was good for us to have 3 opinions and voices tonight about what has been going on. Of course, we need to start off with the latest COVID-19 update numbers here in the state of Illinois. The Illinois Department of Health announced today, Tuesday, 1,740 new known cases of COVID-19. Unfortunately, we had 27 additional fatalities. This now brings our total number of infections in the state of Illinois to 209,594, with a statewide death total of now 7,782. And Notre Dame went back to school August 3rd. Notre Dame is now closing back down because they've had so many cases of coronavirus on campus. And, we've been talking about this, that, I understand it's your freshman year in college and you geeked and this is your first moment of independence. But I really don't know if I would, want to send my college age child back off to school during this, period of people steady catching COVID. Renee, what do you think?
Well, I don't have any children, although I have lots of younger cousins. In fact, I have a few that just started off that trek going away to college. And I'm very protective of my family, whether you're born or not. And I just believe right now we're just not ready. People are just not listening and not being compliant with the social distancing guidelines. I mean, the doctors and scientists are telling us if you don't wear a mask, if you don't practice social distancing, if you don't wash your hands frequently, this is what will be the end result. So I'm queasy about that. As much as I would love if I had a child, send him or her away. I just really want to be protective of my children and people, that were going away to school for having that first experience. So I wouldn't send my children either.
Yes. Brother Damone, what do you think about this? New York right now is trying to get their plan together. New York is actually going to allow their students to go back to school, and they will be, a major metropolis that is making this decision to send the kids back to school. What is your thought on this?
You know what? So the numbers are on the decline in New York, but that doesn't mean that we are rid of the virus. And so I think it's important for us to recognize that though the numbers are going down, it does not mean that the virus has been eradicated. And so we're still vulnerable. Schools are reopening. A lot of universities are choosing to go online and do remote. A lot of the schools are starting, and they'll do the first month and a half remotely, and then they'll go into a hybrid construct. I'm not very confident that this is the time to do it. I'm not very confident that we're living in a culture where we're able to honor each other enough to follow the protocols to the letter. We got people walking around here without masks, who are doing major gatherings. So though the numbers are on the decline, we still are aware that people are acting in ways that will cause the numbers to go up immediately. We are opening up museums here. The bowling alleys are being opened up. They're about to announce the protocols for gyms to reopen. But I feel like if we haven't done the work to adjust the things that need to be adjusted in those public spaces, namely the schools, they don't have the resources to even adjust the ventilation systems. Many of our kids are going back to school in these old dilapidated buildings. And so we send them into harm's way, and our children have the least sense of control when it comes to social distancing, keeping a mask on, wearing a mask properly. And so we set ourselves up for a greater infection. So I think we're moving too fast.
I do too. I couldn't agree with you more. I think we should pace ourselves. The one thing I know everybody's excited about it being summertime, and some people don't think the masks are cool. Some people think all of this is a conspiracy theory, but I'm seeing people perish from this. I don't know. I just want people to be very careful and be very cautious. And if nothing else, try the at-home learning. Kay Renee, can you hear me okay, dear?
Yes, I can, Art. I can hear you.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, people who travel to and from Wisconsin to Chicago, I have some good news to share with you. You have been released off of the 14-day quarantine list. You are lucky enough to be released off this list with the state of Nebraska. Mayor Lori Lightfoot had implemented in July this, ban and said that you guys couldn't do it. Kansas and Iowa have been removed. They were removed from the list last week. So for those of you all that do the Wisconsin Dells weekend getaway, or you work up there, or whatever you do, you can do it again. You have been released off the list. Next up in the news is iconic Navy Pier, the second largest tourist attraction in the state of Illinois, announced today that they will be temporarily closing the pier starting Tuesday, September 8th, which is after the Labor Day holiday weekend. Navy Pier has had a tremendous financial burden, and the ongoing impact of COVID-19 has made the pier, keep in mind, when everything got shut down, the pier was shut down, so nothing was happening there. Then when the pier was able to open back up in June, it was limited things that you could do at the pier. And so now Navy Pier will be closing until next spring. And so, you know, I remember when Navy Pier was just a shell. We used to talk about this on my radio show. You used to go to Navy Pier and play basketball, deck and kiss, and you know, it really. And then I remember when they refurbished it and made it a tourist attraction. And now it's probably one of the most beautiful places. They've made it so modern and all of that. And it hurts my heart to know that Navy Pier has to close down. Kay Renee, what do you think about the Navy Pier situation?
I was shocked to hear this because I know I would go to Navy Pier. You know, they have the dinner cruises that you could go on, and I've done the dinner cruises out for personal reasons, for business, and it's just a wonderful attraction. You know, anytime would I have either family or colleagues that have never been to Chicago before, I always steer them to Navy Pier. And so it's kind of sad, but again, you know, these are the times we live in, and it's unfortunate. It really is. I think that, you know, early spring 2021 will be better for all of us, but especially Navy Pier, because I want to ride a Ferris wheel. I never got a chance to do that.
Yes, yes. All right, Damone, what do you think about the closing of Navy Pier? You're a Chicagoan.
Yes, I am.
You know, just like I know, it was a date night spot. It was a tourist attraction. They even are building a hotel out there. See, that was announced a couple of years ago, that the first hotel on Navy Pier. So they were in the phases of building the hotel. I look at the Winter Garden, how much holiday business they'll lose. Damone, what do you think?
Listen, we also have to remember that a major, so yes, I'm from Chicago originally. I'm a Broadway performer and I'm a pastor. So my heart is for the theater. And on Navy Pier is one of the most important theaters in that city, Chicago Shakespeare Theater. And so with the closure of Navy Pier comes the closure of that theater. And so I'm sad that people, I mean, we're all feeling.
Did we lose you?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'm here. No, we're all feeling the effects in terms of the closures involving the theaters. And so my heart is devastated that Chicago Shakespeare will be shut down for as long as the pier is shut down. I think it's a terrible loss to the city. I get it. And I think it's necessary in order to keep at bay this virus as much as we can. But man, what an economic hardship that the city will face as a result of that closure.
Yes, and then it was said on the evening news that you know, a lot of people are now fearful of coming into downtown Chicago with all the looting we've had, with the curfew, the bridges being raised, all of that. People are not as apt to want to come and hang out and do things that they normally would do, and so, you know, that might play a huge factor as well too. You know, I have a couple appointments that I need to handle downtown. You better believe I'm handling them all in the same day, and I'm gonna be out of downtown by a certain time. And I never would have thought that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never.
Who would think that downtown Chicago would be the keep away spot?
Right.
You know?
I know.
Right.
I remember going to Second City, which is just on the periphery of the Gold Coast. Looking Glass Theater Company right down next to the Water Tower place. You know, it was the spot to hang out in. And so now, and I get it. Again, I get it. The social unrest, the racial unrest. I get it. But man, it's heartbreaking every time I tune in to hear about what's going on in my home city. I'm devastated by it. I remember as a child, Art, I don't know if you know this, But me and my friends, me and Brill Barrett and Darnell Harris, we used to go down in front of Neiman Marcus on Saturday evenings and tap dance and sing.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
wow.
Yep. So it was us, and then Phil Coran. If you're a Chicagoan in the music scene, you know Phil Coran and his family. They used to be down there as well with their brass instruments. So you got us in front of Neiman Marcus, and you got Phil Coran and crew in front of the Water Tower place. Man, you can't do that now.
Nope.
No, you cannot. And that's, the sad part about all of this is that, we're the third largest city in the country. We're a world-class city. There's not a cuisine you cannot have here. There's not a lifestyle or a fetish or fantasy you can't find in Chicago. Right. I mean, let's keep it 100, baby. Let's keep it 100. We got an address and a neighborhood for any and everything you need. And so I'm just myth right now of the way our city is being presented, and just, I don't know, it's heart-wrenching in many ways. It really is. Well, Damone and K. Renee, I both sent you guys an article about New York City. A famed writer and a hedge fund manager is saying that he feels as if New York City is dead now. And Damone, with you being a Broadway actor, K. Renee, girl, me and you love the shopping trips on Fifth Avenue and us having lunch at Everett's and all of those places. And now I was told that like Times Square is empty. It's Dudsville, and that was really a lot of tourists. Damone, what's going on with that situation in New York?
Listen, I have to admit, I'm not going to say New York is dead. I'm going to say New York is different as a result of this pandemic. I agree with that article that we've lost a lot of historic places, restaurants and shops. And if you go down into Times Square, it is not that hustling, bustling metropolis that we know it to be. Doesn't mean that there's not life happening there. It's just not the same. Broadway, definitely dark. We've never seen it dark for this long. But I just said to someone else, it's so much easier to navigate this city than it ever has been. I've been here for well over 15 years, so I'm a New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker.
You're a New Yorker.
New Yorker.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I'm not glad that we're not bombarded with 50 million crazy tourists cluttering up the streetways, but it's not dead, it's different. And you have to engage this city now in a different way. So you won't see the things that you're used to seeing. You won't eat at the restaurants that you're used to eating at, but there's still plenty of restaurants to eat at. You won't go to the theater like you used to go to the theater, but there's tons of online content that Broadway performers and producers and musicians I'm one of them. We're putting stuff out to try to stay engaged. And so the museums are opening back up, so you'll be able to hit the museums when you get here. The High Line, which is a beautiful kind of walking path in the city, is reopening. So it's just different. And in the words of my mentor, Dr. Jeremiah A. Wright Jr.
Oh, yes, my birthday buddy. Yes.
Listen, that's right. Listen, different is not deficient.
Okay.
Different is not deficient.
Well, I have a question to ask you. What about the financial district? Because, Wall Street, you associate New York with, and my background is audit and compliance and finance. So what's happening with Wall Street?
Right. Well, again, I think Wall Street is operating differently.
Okay.
I don't know if we're all on the floor of the stock exchange. I don't think we can do that. But people are trading and doing such from home. So there is still activity. It's just not the way we're used to it happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So again, I say it's different, not dead.
Okay. All right. Very good.
It feels dead. It feels dead. It makes me sad that I can't just roll up and I can't just go see my friends at Book of Mormon, or I
Right.
can't roll up into my friend. You know, we closed a lot of my favorite restaurants. My favorite place for ramen in the city, gone, not coming back. But there is another ramen restaurant, and they're pretty good too. You know, so it's different.
All
It's
right.
sad, but it's different. It's not dead.
Well, and that's the way we feel about Chicago. Okay, Renee, you want to add anything extra on that? Because you are the finance is the biggest thing, and then I love my weekend trips to New York. That's my that's my energy booster, and I find great finds and treasures and all that. What do you think, Kay Renee?
Again, it's just really saddened, but I agree with Damone saying what we're going through is different. We're not dead yet. I mean, you mentioned about Navy Pier here in Chicago. There are a lot of unfortunate Chicago restaurants that will not come back, but we are living in a different set of circumstances, and we've got to be able to, as a people, learn to pivot. So, it's really unfortunate. I haven't been to New York in a minute. I used to work in New York, an audit for a local union, and I remember walking down on 275 7th Avenue. That was where the headquarters were. So I remember, and I had to take the subway. Now Art will tell you, I don't take the subway here in Chicago. So when I take the subway, I was like, all right, get ready. This is outside girl coming. But everything is different now. And again, you've got to be able to, they say shift happens.
Yeah.
That's it.
Shift happens.
Shift
happens.
Yeah.
Okay?
Amen.
Yeah.
Shift happens. So you have to be able to pivot. That's from a spiritual standpoint. Art, I always go there. God knows whatever. He's in control of this. If you really listen and tune in, he's asking you to what? To shift. Pivot.
Yep. I agree. Hey,
Renee. Oh, I was just gonna say, listen, baby, you can come on now and take that subway. Ain't nobody on it.
I do want to come.
I still need a bodyguard though, Damone, because you
don't. They said actually New York is very empty. They said that you'd be surprised, people. Right.
It is empty. I took the train today. I took the train coming out to Jersey City. And I was on the E train, and the E train and the A train are the hot trains. And let me tell you, ain't no showtime. Nobody swinging on poles. Nobody. Everybody's getting 50 feet apart from each other.
Yeah.
Rush hour.
New York.
We should go up to New York to see Damone. I think we should do that. We should go up to see him.
I would love to do a weekend in New York. I would. Okay.
Yes.
We gotta keep going with hot topics. We gotta come on. All right. So today, August 18th, marks 100 years since the 19th Amendment was ratified.
Yes.
This allowed women to be able to vote. Now, on the flip side of that, we're going to talk about it. On the flip side of that, our president, number 45, President Trump, announced today that he will be signing a posthumous pardon for the famous suffrage of Susan B. Anthony, nearly 150 years after she was arrested for voting in the 1872 election. Now, I'm trying to figure out why was that even necessary. The look on you all's face is the same. And we, before we even get into the Michelle Obama thing, which was dynamic, I need to have a little conversation about, we celebrating 100 years of women being able to vote. God bless you, ladies. And now we're faced with having the first African-American biracial vice president of the United States. And this man done pardoned somebody from 150 years ago. And she did. Damone, I'm gonna let you start first. Go right ahead.
Any way you can try to get some traction.
Kay Renee, you'll be the cleanup woman. Go ahead, Damone.
Listen, I think we might not have any disagreement here. Any way you can try to get some traction when you know you're about to be evicted, you do what you can. I think this president knows his days are numbered. And if he doesn't know it, whether he knows it or not, there's nothing he can do that's going to secure him from an eviction. And then my hope is then an arrest warrant as soon as he leaves the White House. I hope he leaves the White House and walks right into an arrest warrant and they toss his behind beneath the jail. But I think you do what you can when you know that your days are numbered. It's a smoke screen. It's too late, baby. Now it's too late.
It's too late, baby. Now it's too. Hey, Renee, what do you think about this? What do you think about the pardon?
I agree with everything that Damone has said. I mean, even though it's been the 100th anniversary, let's talk about the Voting Rights Act that happened in the 60s for African American people. And I'm a Black woman all the way through. So it ain't just 50 years, 100 years. Let's just talk real here, okay? And given what Damone has said, 45, or I like to call him idiot in chief, hashtag. And I'll put that out there because that's exactly what he is. Idiot in chief. He knows what time it is. He is trying everything he can to get people to say, please, I've tried. I've done so well. Well, my dolphin sister, the former First Lady, number 44, Michelle Obama, broke it down to everybody. He has done everything that he could. He is not the type of person that we need for this next election cycle. And as she put it so eloquently and turned his words back to him, it is what it is.
What it is.
And it's time for him
I was like, touche, boo boo. I was like, look, touche, boo boo. Right. She has look, almost like she had a little switchblade in her hand when she said.
Yes, she did. Because you remember, Art, she is from Chicago, South Side. Went to Young, a dolphin girl. We don't play that here.
Right.
And she
my Trinity sister. Amen. Right. Listen, here's my question.
Yes.
I mean, praise God for women being able to vote. I think that's a no-brainer. Praise God for that. This Voting Rights Act. I know this is a side comment on that. Why the heck do we still have to vote on that? Why do we have to come back to say, oh, it's okay for Black people to vote? How about we just do away with it and say everybody can just vote every time, all the time?
Right.
What's that about? So I'm hopeful. I have my issues with the team coming in, and I'm speaking it prophetically. The team coming in, I got my issues with it, but I'm not trying to be divisive, so I won't go into that.
But think about this, Damone. We got an angel called Congressman John Lewis, who's on the other side, and him and all of our ancestors are watching, and they're guiding us because now is the time. I don't give a damn what anybody says. You have to vote like your ancestors died for this right.
That's right.
Both my parents on the other side, and I have been voting in elections since I was 18. And I'm damn if I won't be voting. Nothing but death will bring me to not vote on November 3rd. Believe that.
That's what I said.
Amen. And then we can make some real changes. We can eradicate the fact that we got to vote on the fact that Black folk can vote. That was cute in the 50s and the 60s. It happened in the 60s when they wrote that act. That was cute. But now it's 2020. Why do we have to vote on it anymore?
Yes.
So hopefully we can turn the tide and right the wrongs that 46 minus 1 has been perpetrating, and even beyond him, because it's a spit show. I can't say the right words because I'm a bishop, but it's a spit show for real.
Well, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. I am here Monday through Thursday night from 7 until we get tired and just get off the air. You can watch this show via a lot of different platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and as of today, we're on Periscope. On Periscope, we're at the Real Chat Daddy Show 1. So for those of you that are on Periscope, please join us there, as well as you can now go to the realchatdaddyshow.com and watch the show via my website. So I told y'all the show is doing what it needs to do. Tonight, I have two amazing guest co-hosts. Kay Renee, she's been here with us many times before. Businesswoman, makes the best sweet potato pies ever, motivational speaker. Every day she does what's called Karen's Nuggets, a little piece of wisdom to take with you every day that is an inspirational message, and I just love them. And then our other co-host has been here also as well, Damone Seraphin, Broadway actor, all around great guy, a bishop, dad, husband, and former Chicagoan. Even though he's a New Yorker now, he's Bialys now, and he wants us to subway, all that kind of stuff. He's really from the west side of Chicago, y'all. Don't let him fool you, honey. He's from the west side of Chicago. He'll cut up and clown just like the rest of them. What's on?
Yes, I will.
He'll do what he needs to do. So right now we're covering all the hot topics of the day. Later on in the show tonight, we're going to talk about the uptick of interracial relationships. Everywhere you turn on television, all the commercials feature interracial couples. I've done a little research and study on interracial relationships, and each one of us on this show tonight have been in an interracial relationship, and we'll kind of share some of the details of what the relationship was about. Glad you guys are here. Do me a favor, go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button for this show. Easy, simple. That way you'll know when the show comes on every night. And don't forget Periscope at the Real Chat Daddy 1. That's what we are on Periscope. All right. Yay. That's the other Twitter account. All right. So let's get back to hot topics of the evening. As you guys all know, tonight is day 2 of the National Democratic Convention. Unlike any other years, this Democratic Convention is virtual, no audience, no questions from the media, a lot of social distancing. Last night to open up the convention was Bernie Sanders and our former First Lady, Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama delivered an 18-minute pre-recorded address. And in her speech last night, she let our current president, number 45, have it. She let him have it, Wendy. She cut him. And so today, our current president, President Trump, sarcastically thanked her in a tweet this morning. Thanks for your kind words, Michelle, is what he responded. And I heard he did some other things as well, too. I heard he,
Well, here's the thing, all right, because I'm going to speak on this because I have my thoughts about idiot in chief.
Okay.
First of all, I know he wanted to go there, but he knows damn well if he went there, people gonna come for him. There's a saying, don't come to me unless I send for you. And you best believe the only thing he could do was talk about her husband. He didn't say nothing about all the other insults that he refers to women as nasty, or as the governor from Michigan, that Michigan woman. He at least gave her name, because he knows if he had said something else, we'd be coming for him.
Right.
And I'd be right there.
He'd be joining his brother. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Yeah, his brother did pass away. Yeah, he
did. And you know what? You know what the response to that announcement was? Crickets.
Right.
Crickets.
Right.
Crickets.
And here's the thing: both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris responded in a very beautiful tweet.
Yes.
No response from him to say thank you. The one thing I loved about Michelle is she talked about character That's one thing he has lacked throughout his life and throughout this presidency. He lacks character. And if he doesn't like it, he can change, he can shift, he can pivot. He doesn't want to. And so guess what? This is just the end result of everything. You know, I said this in my tweet, in a post, and people got upset when I said this, that karma is a very patient gangster.
Ooh.
She's very patient.
I'm gonna have to repost that. I need to repost that.
Let me say it again. Karma is a very patient gangster. And a lot of people don't know what karma really does. Whatever you do, good, bad, or indifferent, it not only impacts you, it impacts directly or indirectly to your family. So everything that he is doing is a direct result of what he has done to people and what he continuously is doing. So, but he can make the change. Everyone can. He doesn't want to.
Yep.
And that's what Michelle was letting him and let the whole world know. If you want to stay, if you want the same thing, expect different result, being insane, then you go for him. If you want change, if you want something different, there's only one choice to go now. The time is now.
Yep.
I
couldn't agree with you more. Go ahead, Damon.
No, listen, I'm saying with you, I ain't got nothing to say. Bishop, prophetess, not even prophetess. That's not real. Prophet, first lady, reverend doctor. She didn't say it.
Look, on this show, we create words on this show. This show probably has created more vocabulary added words than any other show in the world. You know what I'm saying? We add ing and EST and all that stuff on this show. Don't worry.
I ain't got nothing else to say to it. I figure the best way to do it is just show up like you should show up in November. That's it. Lady Karen said it all. I ain't got nothing else to talk. I don't want to even give him any more energy. Next.
That's right.
All right. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are exactly 77 days away from Election Day 2020. Make sure you vote. I'm going to encourage you to do what's necessary. Not here to tell you who to vote for. I ask that you please do your research. Please do your due diligence. But we're exactly 77 days away from Election Day. All right?
Well, can I
with that
on that?
Said,
Can I echo in on that?
Please do. Yes, go right ahead. Uh-oh, are you freezing up? Oh, there you go. All right. Uh-oh.
Did he freeze up?
Was he froze? I like that pose, though. Look at it. It's
I do too.
Pose. Right, it's a good pose. It looks like a billboard. It looks like put your man. It looks like put your man. You there?
There we go.
Yeah,
I think it's back.
Oh wait, you froze up, and it was a great post. It looked like a billboard in New York saying, "Put your damn mask on."
Well, listen, whatever happened in the freeze, put your damn mask on.
Right. It looked like it would be a billboard if I'm leaving LaGuardia Airport, like leaving JFK. Right. So you did a good job. You did. So you wanted to add something to what I said about the 77 days to election.
Yes. One of the major things that we're working on here, there's a sect of our Broadway performers who are making sure that people are registered to vote, that you're registered to vote. You have to, it is vital for this election. It is vital that you know that you are registered to vote.
Yes.
And if you are not registered to vote, there is still time to do so. Also, the idiot in chief, like Dr. Karen said, I'm calling her doctor. I don't even know if that's her, but I'm gonna give it to her. I confer it on her. But Dr. Karen said, idiot in chief is trying really hard to make it difficult for those of you who may not be able to vote in person. He is now obstructing your mail-in votes, your mail-in ballots. And so right now, if you're able to go in and vote early, you want to avoid the crowds because of COVID-19, do it. do it. If you can vote early, if you can get down to your polling place to vote early, I encourage you, I implore you, I beseech you to do it. This is not the time to get out.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, we are going to move on. Right. Okay. Well, with that being said, we're going to continue to move on. Before we talk about the drama at the post office, I thought that we would take a few moments to acknowledge what today is. You know, I'm very big on, do you know what today is? Today is actually National Mail Order Catalog Day. And I have a question for both of you. Do you know who had the first mail order catalog? And then what was your favorite catalog, old school, back in the day? Well, and I'll tell you what mine was, but go ahead, Kay Renee. Do you know who was the first catalog? And then what was your favorite catalog?
I believe I do, Art, because I used to work there many years ago, and that was Sears. I believe it was Sears. Actually, that's one of my favorite catalogs. I wish I had one now, but that was one of my favorite catalogs. That was something that my mom would get, and every Christmas, I would be nosy because she talked about Santa Claus not gonna be good to you, and I'm thinking Santa Claus, those gifts are downstairs in the basement. I know where they are, but of course I didn't say that because then I am a Black woman, and my mother she would get the belt and whoop, not no strapping, no switching. Talking about whipping. But Sears was my favorite catalog.
Okay. All right. Damone, what about you? Favorite? What was the first catalog, and what was your favorite catalog from back in the day?
My first I think I'm like you, Kay Renee. Sears was the one.
Okay, I'll tell y'all the answer to that in just a minute. And then, did we lose him again? We did.
I think we did. I
know. Lord, this old Wi-Fi. I heard him say he thought that Sears was the first catalog.
He did.
And then here he is. He back. Now, the one thing I love about him, he come back, baby.
That's right.
He come back like a ghost.
Hey, you're back, Bishop. Hey, Bishop.
Listen, I don't know what the hell this mayonnaise is going on.
Look, I don't feel bad about this because I'll be watching major news shows in the morning and they have all kind of foolishness. Then I'll look at the late night TV shows and they'll have all kind of internet issues and foolishness. So look, my show rates right up there with all of the majors, and we just have technical difficulties. All right. So now you said, Damone, you said you thought Sears was the first catalog, and then what was your favorite old school catalog when you were younger?
My favorite old school catalog. I'm stumped. What is my favorite old school catalog?
Yes.
You know what? I think it's Sears.
Okay.
I think it's Sears. Now, I'm going to tell you why for me. Because Sears, as a little boy who really liked girls. There was a certain section of the catalog.
Right. The underwear section. The pages would be all sticky. Pages all sticky. I know. Nasty. I'm going to pray for you. Pages all sticky.
Listen, pray for me. Pray for me.
I am.
Listen, hey Karen, what the song say? Steal away.
Hot mess.
Take all that energy, Bishop. You are married, right? So take all that energy and just shower your queen. That's all I got to say. Shower her.
Right. But meanwhile, whenever you went to his house as a kid, the Sears catalog lingerie and underwear pages was all stuck together, sticky. So if
you wanted to see it, you couldn't see it because I saw it before you.
Right. Let me give y'all the answer to the question. So today is National Mail Order Catalog Day, and both of you were wrong. The first catalog was created by Montgomery Wards in 1872. And the first catalog was a single sheet of paper, 8 by 12. And he had everything that he had on there, the price and the ordering instructions. Montgomery Ward's single page product list grew to 540 pages to eventually selling 20,000 items. Now, number 2 is what both of you said was Sears. Richard Warren Sears mailed his catalog in 1896. And by 1971, the sales of major U.S. catalog revenue like that was $250 million by 1971. Because keep in mind, a lot of people, people in the South, the Sears catalog was how they ordered their homes, animals, everything.
Yes.
You used to order livestock, all of that, and it came by the postman. You know what I'm saying? Way before UPS, way before FedEx. Okay, so let me tell you guys my favorite. My favorite was always the JCPenney catalog that came out this time of year because it was fall and Christmas stuff in there, and you started picking off what you want. Now, as I got older and my palette started expanding and I started liking finer things in life, it was the Neiman Marcus Dream Book that came out.
All right now.
I used to love the Neiman Marcus Dream Book. I used to keep them as cocktail table books because it was like the Robb Report to me, and it was nothing but opulent things in that Neiman Marcus catalog. So that was one of my favorites when I was younger.
And interesting enough, you mentioned about Montgomery Ward. They still have a catalog now, and you can order stuff online. So
girl, you lying.
Yes, I get a Montgomery Ward catalog every few months or so with that and Finger Hut. Some of our viewing audience said Spiegel. Y'all remember Spiegel? Love Spiegel.
Love
Service merchandise. So there's it's unfortunate that all the stuff that we have grown up to no longer in existence, or they're in a different format. Some have gone out of business, some are going digital. So it's just really interesting how times have changed.
Oh, another one of our listeners said that she gets the Montgomery Ward's catalog as well too.
Yeah.
Well, I never knew. So wait, let me tell you another 2 catalogs that were my favorite. Stuart McGuire shoes. Remember they used to send the catalog and you would order shoes from Stuart McGuire. And then another one of my favorites. See, that's why fashion has always been my thing. International Mail.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yes.
Yes.
Because my ex-husband used to subscribe to that.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, some of my pages would be sticky too. And then as a chubby child, I had the nerve to order the underwear thinking I was going, so that's that's another show. We might have to have a doctor on for that show. We might have to have a doctor on. Right. We'll just leave that where that is. We'll leave that right there. Okay. Well, with that being said, and today being National Mail Order Catalog Day, our good friends at the United States Post Office are now going through a lot of grief and drama from reports that I've been told that just right here in Chicago, mail sorting machines have been taken out at the main post office, the West Loop Post Office, and the O'Hare International Airport Post Office. And as you guys all know, those are 3 major post offices here in Chicago. Those are post offices that if you drop it in the mailbox right there, it'll be to somebody the next day.
That's right.
I always was taught that when you had to get something to somebody right away, you take it to the main post office, that West Loop Post Office, or the O'Hare Post Office. But now you're lucky if you get mail once a week now. And Kay Renee, this is heart-wrenching to you because you come from a postal family.
Oh my goodness gracious. My family on both sides. My late dad worked at the main post office. He was a supervisor. So he processed and he supervised people who processed those machines. My uncle, my father's next oldest brother, who's retired now in Vegas, he was the postmaster here in Chicago, and he was ranked up to the career of being postmaster. And another uncle, who's no longer with me, was supervisor in the Forest Park location, as well as a cousin who was superintendent of the Forest Park location. So it really, my father would probably be cursing somebody out. But interestingly enough, Postmaster General DeJoy, I like to call him something else, the junk, he is suspending all operations, that he wanted to plan on doing until after the election. That's kind of suspect, right? But he knows that folks are coming after him, our constituents, our, congressmen. I think I heard 20 states were ready to sue him to say, look, we need to get this done. So he knows his days are number 2. Right. So he's suspending all, of his plans until after the election, because he know what time it is. Yes. We're not playing that.
Brother Damone, what do you feel about this post office situation? President Donald Trump, they're saying this is all a part, the Democrats are saying this is all a part of President Donald Trump's nationwide effort to slow voting by mail. And again, we're in the middle of a pandemic. People are afraid to even go to the grocery store.
I said it earlier. Can you hear me?
We can, clearly.
Good, because this internet, I don't know what's happening, but the devil is a liar. This man is the very picture of a dictator. And this is a dictator move. But that's why I say, with every move that the idiot in chief makes, we have got to be 20 steps ahead of him. So go ahead and take up the mailboxes, because we'll walk them to the place ourselves.
That's right.
We'll do it online. We'll do whatever we got to do. I will not give your idiotic movements energy. For every idiotic move that you make, we will be well educated enough to circumnavigate your idiocy.
That's right.
So do what you do. All I know is come November, it's over.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. It is. Well,
I'm gonna keep speaking it. It's over.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, to all of our postal workers, whether you are a letter carrier, whether you are someone who works within the buildings that gets the mail out, whether you're the clerks, whatever the case may be, we thank you guys for your service, your commitment. We really do appreciate you. Even though we do live in a world now where everything is social media savvy, we do still enjoy correspondence from people in the mail. Today I got a thank you card, which touched my heart. I got a package, a book in the mail today. And just, mail is something that I just would hate to see go. But I also am disheartened to see that our mail system is so slow now. And this is unheard of. You could drop something in the mail and it would be there in a day or two. Now it could be a week or two, or 2 weeks.
And it's funny you mentioned that, Art. I still haven't gotten any mail in over a week, which is really sad.
Really?
So, yeah. Wow. Yeah. And I used to know my mail. I used to know my mail carrier. Now, unfortunately, whenever I do get mail, it's always someone. It's a revolving door. And as I said, my dad would he roll his grave saying, "What the hell has happened?" Because he was so proud. In fact, if I mailed something UPS or FedEx, he talked about me so bad. He's like, "You better send that to the post office. What's wrong with you?"
Right. And your dad came from that era of that post office job was a damn good job. We the ones that did not want them post office jobs. Oh no, hell no, I want no post office job. But that for your parents, I know, Damone, I'm sure maybe your parents, that post office job was a golden ticket. You know what I'm saying?
It paid for my college education, Art. So yes, I'm proud to say that I come from the post office, but at the same time, it's got to be changed. And I'm hoping that, hopefully that we can get through this once this election cycle ends, and we can get back to some common decency when it comes to receiving mail. Because Christmas cards, people know me. I'm usually the first person mailing Christmas cards out. I don't know if I can even mail them this year.
Right, right. Yeah, and will people be mailing Christmas cards this year? You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is going to be, I can't wait to see what the holiday season is going to be like, because I love, you know, the holiday parties, the get-togethers. That's the one time of the year that I do clear my schedule and try to attend various holiday parties, you know, whether they're fundraisers or somebody's hosting them. I always host a dinner party at my home. And so I just can't imagine what this will be like this year to celebrate the holiday season.
Right. Yeah.
You know what? This is so funny. She said that some mail carriers will not come in certain neighborhoods, and I believe that. I really do. Heather Ferguson Tillman, my former college friend.
My Dolphin sister. She went to Whitney.
Yes. I've been trying to get her on the show. So hopefully she'll hear this and get her behind on the show one night. We'd love to have her
Dr.
on.
H, get on the show with Art.
Yeah, right. She should. All right, I want to continue on with our last hot topic of the evening. Every Monday through Friday at 3 o'clock, I just love turning to NBC Channel 5 here in Chicago to watch my girl Ellen. And so, as you guys all know, Ellen has been having some problems behind the scenes of her show. Well, Mama Ellen put her foot down. New details have surfaced surrounding the Ellen show. According to reports, 3 top executive producers have been fired amid sexual harassment allegations and accusations of problems that have been going on at the talk show, intimidating people, running over people that work at the show. 3 white male executive producers have been let go from the show. Ellen DeGeneres was so upset a week or so ago that she was like, hell, I don't need to keep doing this show. And you know, when she said it, I actually understood what she was saying. You know, Ellen's platform is be kind, be wonderful to people, all of that stuff. And then to find out after an investigation that there had been allegations of racism, sexual assault, bullying, and overall bad work environment. Aha. I know this firsthand. I do know this firsthand from, you know, being a part of various things and being a person who, you know, my spirit and energy is not of that, but I have been under some people who were very abusive, people who thought less of me but always needed me for something or a reason. And it is sad. And here's the deal. It has nothing to do with the star of the show, because when the star of the show walks in, everybody's kind, friendly, and nice. But when them cameras are off, they are also sometimes, but not Ellen. But I've seen it firsthand. I'm going to start with you, Damone, and Kay Renee. I see you thinking. Let's see, because Damone, you've been in this, being Hollywood, doing all different things. What do you think about all of this with Ellen?
Listen, when the cat's away, the mice will play. And what makes a show successful is that the cat has ever-present eyes. It's obvious that Ellen didn't have people in place for her to report directly back to her to say, girl, Ellen, you in danger, child.
Right.
Your show's in danger.
Right.
Because listen, you get some young executive who is power hungry, who doesn't think beyond his lower head, then there's tons of drama that can happen. But people, it's like code switching. People know how to flip it so that the situation benefits them. And so now that Ellen is the wiser, I'm excited that she's able to look and say, not on my watch. But you said something interesting that'll push us into our next section. This is where Kay Renee and I will probably now stop the love fest and not agreeing. But you said there were how many? 3 what? 3 what people who were dismissed?
3 white men. 3 white men. her
There you
show.
go.
Right. It was white men that gave me the problems as well too. Say
it again. Art. Say it again, real slow. Say it real slow.
You ain't trying to take me there, because then I'm gonna flip it when it comes to the relationship conversation.
No. I want you to say it real slow. Listen.
White and Hispanic.
3 white men were dismissed, fired for nefarious behavior in the workplace, for creating a toxic work environment, for creating a space that was not safe or conducive to the flow of the show of their leader. That rhymed. I like it.
Renee, you trying to take
everything white ain't right.
I knew he was going to say
That's all I got to say. My Lord. Oh, yeah.
Okay. See, this does take us into our yes. Okay. All right. So listen, we wish everybody on the Ellen Show the best. I'm so sorry that happened. I do understand when you're working in a toxic environment. I get it. Sometimes your energy is not of that. That's not what my energy is of. I want you to treat me like who I want to be treated as. Let me do my job. Let me get out the way. And that's in any of the positions I've ever had, and was honored to be in them. But it was really toxic people at the top. And it's not always white folks either, because you'll find some black folks that's toxic.
Speak on that.
Honey, I'm going to tell it right here. This is equal opportunity toxicity. And you do right. You do meet them. I've met them black toxic, and I've met them white and Hispanic toxic. So
and not just Hispanic, Asian too, because now
I've never had the Asian. I've
to the corporate environment as well. I can attest to that. That transfers to the corporate as well. So it's not just in the entertainment industry; it's in corporate America, because that's where I come from, and I've had that issue as well. So, and see, I'm the type person, I follow my father's lead. If it's something that I've done, I will leave the situation, but it's something that they do, they need to leave. So, it's really sad that we are in 2020 and we're still going through this toxicity of crazy when it comes to relationships and treating people right. And Ellen is doing the right thing because it's her brand. It's on the line. Everyone has a brand. And if you mess with my brand, I'm coming for you.
You got to go.
You
got to go.
Period.
Right. Yep. That's why that's why now I control everything about this. Everything is from here on out, I'm gonna control it. And that's what the best part about that is. All right. For those of you all that are just joining us, or if you've been along for this ride for a minute now, we thank you so very much. Raise your glass, everybody that's a guest tonight. Here's to you all. Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. This is a reality news entertainment variety show, 7 p.m. until we get tired. Tonight, I have two wonderful guest co-hosts, Kay Renee, entrepreneur. She's a wonderful motivational speaker, a source of inspiration for everyone, and she makes great sweet potato pies.
The best there is.
The best there is. And then in that box below us is our good friend, actor, activist, minister, bishop, husband, father, all around great guy, originally from the west side of Chicago. But he's now a New Yorker. He's a New Yorker. He eats Bialys, up yours, all of that. He taxi, all of that. Yeah, he's a New Yorker. Oy vey, all of that. Yes, he is. Damone Seraphin is here with us tonight, and boy, we've covered so many things this evening on the show. We want to remind everyone we are 77 days away from election 2020. Tonight is the second night of the virtual Democratic convention. Next week starts the virtual Republican convention. To be fair to everybody, that's what we do on this show. We're also in the midst of a global pandemic. It is coronavirus season. And with that being said, we want to remind everyone to please wear your mask. It is important that you wear your mask. Please do so. Make sure you put your mask on before you put anyone else's on. Please make sure you sanitize and wash your hands. That's right. Yeah. Put that mask on. Ooh, you sexy though. Look. Ooh. See, if you wasn't married, Lord, look. Oh, see, some of these masks turn me on now. Right. Look at that. Look, that bald head and that black mask. Look at that. Right. Make me want to play cops and robbers. Can I rob you? Can I rob you or you rob me?
Any way you want it, baby. Any way you want it.
All right now. All right. With that being said, do me a favor, go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button. That helps me out a lot. You can also find this show now on Periscope. You can also on 4 different pages, and it's at therealchatdaddy.com. There's no excuse for you not to be able to see this show. All right. My guest co-host and I have had a wonderful time this evening. We still gonna continue on with the show. Kay Renee, how you doing so far, baby?
You know, I am loving this, and you have to have the three of us come back to talk about, something sexy, because you forgot I am an author.
Yes, you are.
Right here.
Yes, baby. Yes. What's the name of that damn book, Sugar? What's the name of that book?
DDW, What Frustrates Women Most. And baby, I won't say what the DDW stands for. You got to go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble to find out what that is.
Well, honey, look, whatever it takes, Boo Bear.
Don't let the smile fool you, baby.
Right.
Don't let the smile fool you.
Right.
Oops, there it is.
There it is.
We got a little player hater that done come in the room. We got a little player hater that came in. For the little player hater that came in, there is no looting here. We're not those type of African Americans. I've reminded you all to stop bringing that kind of mess to my page every night. We are all progressive, thought-thinking African Americans that's trying to present you a healthy show. So for those of you all that want to get in the inbox and start saying negative comments, guess what? This is what we got for you.
Listen, Dr. Demone.
Amen.
Yes,
amen. Go ahead. Go ahead, my brother.
Positive show. Positive show. That's what we do on this show. Positivity. That's exactly what we do. We're not on here for no hate and all that. Save all that drama. Save all that drama for your mammy. Yes,
that's
right. Save it for Mother Mammy. All right. With that being said, I want to talk about our next topic, our hot topic tonight, or our round table.
Wait a minute. Huh? Do I have time to go refresh my glass for this one?
You go refresh your beverage if you need to. You're right. You shouldn't have drank so fast, Bishop. You should not have. All right. So
that's why I have this. See, it's a whole liter.
I see, baby. Look like
you refresh my glass.
You look like you drinking jungle juice, boo. That's what it looks like. Look like you drinking a little jungle juice there. Look like you know.
That's all right. Crystal Light, all right, with water. Crystal Light. Let's keep it real.
Okay, baby. Whatever. Look, whatever floats your boat, boo. All right.
The darkest Crystal Light.
So, according to a new study, 45.1% of all new marriages in the United States are now between spouses of a different race or ethnicity of one another. This compares to an increase of marriages prior to. Now, keep in mind, between 1948 and 1967, it was really against the law for interracial couples to be married. It was in 1967 when Loving versus the Virginia Supreme Court made a decision to stop outlawing interracial marriages. And so, you know, with the recent influx of interracial commercials on TV everywhere we turn, I thought this would be a topic to talk about tonight. Not that I'm against dating my own. I just find that my own is not attracted to me as much as I thought they would be. And I have, you know, put my toe in the water and have dealt with the other side. And the other side actually turned out to be refreshingly pleasant, caring, concerned. You know, I always try to test the other side to see how much they know about my history and heritage and what do they feel about it. And the one thing that I found that when I'm in an interracial relationship, my favorite part about it is, why do your people do that? Or why do my people do that? And that does not offend me, because I feel as if we're educating each other about what the dichotomy of our people are about. Does that make sense? Kay Renee, I know you've been down this road. What made you make the decision to date outside your race?
Well, you know, it's very interesting, Art. I've always been attracted to men outside my race, even though I married an African American man. And my first date with someone outside my race was in college, outside of college. We were friends and we went out to dinner, and he came and was very honest and said how he felt about me. But one thing that really has struck me when I've dated outside my race is most of the men that I've dated, they look at me as the total package. Yes, I'm very articulate. Yes, I'm very sensual because I'm proud of my sexuality. I'm very intelligent, but they see me as a total package, where, not to say all Black men, and I'm not stereotyping all Black men, but the men that I had been accustomed to and dated that are African American, they looked at me as one to take care of them. And at this stage of my life, even as I was going through my divorce, I'm looking for my equal, a partner. And in fact, I shared this with you, Art, prior to joining the show. The last interracial relationship I had, didn't know this at the time, I was pregnant with my daughter and miscarried. And so had my daughter went to term, I would have had a biracial daughter. But, you know, for me, the men that I've dated that have been outside my race, they really see me as a total package. Yes, they've asked those questions, and they were very authentic. They weren't coming to me with no craziness, because they knew how I could come crazy back. So they came to me with respect. In fact, the relationship that I would have had, my daughter, my late father and my late second dad, my uncle, loved him. He was from the South. He was a gentleman. And when I needed him the most for emotional support, he was there. And that's something for me that that I treasured. And of course, as I said, I said just a few moments ago, they embraced my sexuality, and I'm okay with that. Because see, I'm at the age now, I don't care if anyone knows, because I know who I am. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. So,
so is that AKA I'm a freak? Well, is that? Oh, I love it. I love to wink. That's all you have to do. I love to wink. Right. Okay. I digress. I just had to be nosy. I did. I digress. Right. Amen. Right. Love my freak. love my freak. That's right. If you don't love nothing else, love my freak. Okay. Yes. Amen.
So that's all I'm going to say on the subject for now. Go ahead, Mr. Bishop Damone. What you got to say?
Yes. And Bishop, you've gone down this road as well too before your marriage, correct?
I have. In fact, in my family, everyone thought that I would bring the other home.
Same here.
Everyone just knew that anything came from me was going to be mixed with anything other than Black. My foray or my entree into this kind of whole interracial dating thing, I grew up on the west side of Chicago. Little ghetto boy on the West Side. I went to a private performing arts high school. And that was my first introduction to really engaging with people outside of my community. And before then, I was always taught that the other were forbidden fruit, not really to be trusted. And if engaged only for my pleasure, and that's it. And so when I was in high school, for sure, I had my feel. Even coming up on hurting some people who had grown real feelings for me, my instruction, or what I was kind of led to understand, was if you do it, don't get attached, have fun, and leave it. And so it wasn't until I was in college that I engaged a real relationship where I had real kind of emotional connection. But the emotional connection was always thwarted by a disconnect of sociology. That my white female partners could not completely walk with me and my experience as a Black man. I went to the University of Cincinnati for undergraduate. And Cincinnati was a major KKK hub. I walked around and lived with the tension that my white girlfriends could not understand nor walk with me through. And so it was in college where I realized, I don't know if I can partner eternally with someone who could not at least understand or even walk with me through my reality as a Black man. That was difficult for me, that I have to explain constantly my trauma and my hurt. I have to walk on eggshells and not walk in the fullness of my emotion as it relates to the micro and macro aggressions that I face as a Black straight actor in the American musical theater, which is dominated by gay white men.
Yes.
Interesting.
It is.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm already demonized as a straight Black man who walks in the weight of my being. Right? I'm already demonized. And so to have a partner that cannot walk with me through that, massage me after it, or not have to be put together as a result of my breakdown, I just didn't have the patience, and I just didn't have it to do it. But I will say this, and I'll be quiet. It was in my freshman year of high school that I met my sister, and she's my sister, Sonia Walk. She's a Jewish girl. And it was actually at the end of my 8th grade year, we were coming into the academy, into our high school. We had a summer program. And Sonia and I really hit it off. She was older, but she says, I think you would like my sister, Erin. I think you guys should date. And so she set us up. And Erin and I were more like brother and sister than anything romantic. But that relationship opened the door to my maternal-paternal relationship with their mother and father. They are like godparents to me.
Nice.
And it's because of them that I do not hate white people.
Wow.
That I look to them and say, if it weren't for your love for me at my best and my worst, were it not for your love for me, I would hate anyone who looked like you.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's authentic. That's really authentic to say. Wow.
Yeah. That's my full experience.
You know what I've never ever thought about, and Damone, I'm so glad you just said what you said. I never thought of it from a straight Black man's point of view. As a black gay man, I'm a commodity when it comes to white men who are looking for that black experience. And I'll tell you why. I'll even take this back, many years when I was in my early 20s. If you were a black man that was gay from the South or West Side, in order for you to be able to be heard, express yourself, or find somebody, you would go north and meet a white guy. And oftentimes that was your meal ticket out of the ghetto. That was your, because white men have always desired to want to have a black guy. And so for many of my friends back then, they did meet white guys that, became their partners for many years and that type of thing. The reason that I probably did not meet a white guy back then and started the relationship was it was during the Jeffrey Dahmer period. And as I've openly said many times, 3 of my friends were victims of Jeffrey Dahmer. I knew 3 of his victims very well. So that scared me from continuing to want to meet somebody of another race, because I was like, honey, I don't know. I'm juicy, I'm plump. This food might have some hot sauce, and it might be on like a pot of neck bone. So that's what pulled me back from wanting to back then. But let's fast forward to many years later of black men being afraid of commitment, and nothing against my brothers. I love all of them. Black men having so many choices and options when it comes to their relationships. Black men always feeling that something better will come along. And then when I did meet a white guy, he ended up telling me the backstory of him having trouble just meeting a good black guy. He had been robbed several times. He had been given ultimatums about whether or not the relationship would, if it was going to happen, this is what you needed to do to make it happen. Where I just was looking to meet someone genuine and someone who would, give me love and support. And I knew that I was with the right guy when I asked him about Harold's Chicken. And he said to me, something as minor as Harold's Chicken. He said, I guarantee you, I know how to go in Harold's in order. And I said, you lying. He said, nope. Matter of fact, the people at my office says that I'm definitely a black guy because I know how to order Harold's Chicken right. And that I was told then. I was told. I was like, Lord, this white boy know how to order Harold. He was like, yo, give me a 6-piece, hot and mild, or he said, put it on the side. And I was like,
all right now.
Right. So I don't know, but Damone, I never thought about it's different with straight black men, because then I look at the fact that straight black men, if you're a good looking black dude, everybody wants you. And let's look at the number of celebrities that have white wives. Terry Crews, I mean, you name it. And that's another thing. When brothers get famous, they look like they end up with a white woman.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a, especially in my industry, like I said, the dominant presence is of the gay white male.
Right.
And so the straight black, so whenever, especially when you talk about toxic masculinity, I get nervous around that conversation. Because as a black man, as a straight black man, I walk and engage the world with a different weight. My gay brothers, pardon the stereotype, but it's a stereotype. It's funny, but there's a truth to it. There's a different weight to the way my gay brothers handle themselves in the world. Most of them, not all. I don't want to make a gross generalization. But when I walk in the fullness of my weight, I'm perceived as a threat. When I don't speak with the pinch tonality, that says, I'm safe, that I'm okay to be with, right? When I speak in my timbre, I'm perceived as a threat. And so even the white girls that I would engage, now they look at me not just as as a partner, but solely as a protector in a dangerous world. And I don't just want to be your protector, I want to be your partner.
Yes.
And a partnership says that the relationship goes both ways.
Yes.
But your partner says that my responsibility is singular. And I don't want to do that.
Right.
I want to know that I'm protected and loved just as I protect and love.
Oh, yes.
I don't want to be seen as a singular space. And so I'm not leery. I tell people ultimately love who you love, who you love. But I question when you put on modifiers that say, I'm with this white man because he's better than the black man.
Right.
Because every black man that's violent, that's academically deficient, that has no credit, I can point to you a white, Asian, and Indian person in the same space. I told Art, and you just made mention of it, Art. Everyone, I hear sisters talking about, I'm just being abused by brothers and I'm tired of brothers abusing me. There is a very famous story of a white surgeon, a famous white surgeon here in New York, who was married to a black woman. They were getting a divorce and she was coming after him with full fury for spousal support. And like Eddie Murphy said, half. And he didn't want to do that. And so what did this white surgeon do? He killed his black wife, chopped her up, and you know that Gucci and Prada that the sisters love? He dumped her behind in a Gucci bag and tossed her black butt in the Hudson. But that white man was better than the brother. The brother didn't chop you up and put you in that Gucci bag and toss you in the Hudson. We all come with issues and isms.
We do.
And the one is better solely because of race, I find problematic on both sides. Because I hear sisters say, but the brothers do it all the time. I'm going to get me a white girl. She knows how to shut up and stay in her place, and she takes care of me. I can tell you that I'm well taken care of. I'm respected and honored. And her name is not Becky.
Amen to that.
Well, now let me say this, because Kay Renee, I know as a black woman, you really have the best of both worlds. You can question a gay man about some things. You can question the straight man about some things. But now let me say this. I know black brothers now that only want Hispanic women. And I question that. Good friends of mine only want Hispanic women. I was told that they keep that house immaculate. That meal is going to be on that table every night. And they have no problem having sex and children. And I've had several of my African-American, and I know it's stereotypical. I know, did I say that right? Stereotypical.
You said it right.
Right. But I'm getting that. And then I know a lot of African-American men now that are marrying Indian women of Indian descent, Asian Indian descent. Kay Renee, you got the floor, darling. Go ahead. I know you got a list of things that you want to talk about.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because when I was brought up from parents, especially my mom, who was a working woman, she taught me. In fact, the one thing that my ex-husband will say about me, that I'm a domestic goddess. I was taught to keep an immaculate house. I was taught to be able to cook. I was, even taught as far as sexuality, you be there for your husband. So I think, it's really interesting to hear this, because I know a lot of my girlfriends in my age group, we were taught by our moms and our dads to be that perfect wife. Just think that, I think in my experience, some men just want people to take care of them. And I think, piggyback what Bishop had said, it has to be reciprocal. I've had experiences on both sides where was the nurturer and the caregiver, but not getting reciprocated. That to me, that's not even. You should be an even balance. And so I know there are a lot of sisters out there who will do a man right, because I surround myself with women who are not only intelligent, who are nurturing, who are loving. They're just now at the stage where they're not going to tolerate foolishness. And so for me, when I even get approached on this digital platform called Instagram, Facebook, and I get black men who say, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'll have engage in a conversation, and then I'll ask certain questions. See, I'm very good at asking questions because of my background as an auditor and working in compliance, and they get nervous. Like you, Bishop, some men, black men, even white men, and some white women, when they see me with a white brother, they see me as a threat. And I said, bring it. Because I know it took me almost, and I'll be 53 next month, to realize who I am and be comfortable who K. Renee is. And now that I have a voice, you will not shut me up. And the thing about it is, love is love. I love a person's heart, and I look for that heart. I don't care, if you're Asian, Hispanic, African American, Caucasian, Indian. I look for your heart. And if I don't see your heart, I don't care what color you are, we will say bye-bye, bye-boo-boo, it's okay. Because I can be by myself. I'm an only child. I've been taught, if I have to, because when you come in this world, you're coming by yourself. And when you leave here, you're going to leave by yourself. So my thing is, at this stage of my life, I am looking for a partner who I can love unconditionally, because that was the one thing, like you, Bishop, my mother, who was a teacher and she was raised in the South, she did not want me to be with a white man because she was afraid for me because of the injustice and the racism that happened. She was very fearful. Whereas my father, who was also raised in the South, in Mississippi, he said, baby, I just want someone to love you like I love your mother. That's what he wanted from me. He said, I want someone to love you like I love your mother, my queen. And despite all the things they've gone through in their 47-year marriage, my daddy loved some Claristine Mason. Believe that. And I said, that is what I'm looking for. I am looking for someone that I can give and bestow unconditional love to, because that was bestowed upon me when I came in this world, soon to be 53 years ago. So if a man, regardless of his race, wants to bestow unconditional love to me, and let me be clear, because I am an auditor now, I will say this is a caveat. I will check your background. I will vet your ass.
Okay. So now this is where I need to jump in at. You said a mouthful. You really have, and I agree with you. Damone, I get what you're saying as well too. But then I'm gonna have to bring the reality factor in on all of this. Okay, so now anybody.
Hold on. We just need a 5-second laugh break because K. Renee just came.
She did.
I'm gonna take your background.
But
I will vet you.
That's an elimination process. That's what I was going to say. That's an elimination process.
Probationary, probation, 90 days. I will vet you. And I will ask certain. See, here's the thing, though, Art and Bishop. We don't ask the right questions when we're meeting people. You like about, ain't nothing wrong with looking good, because I know the three of us, we look good. We are good looking people. But I'm going to tell you something. I will ask those questions, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, that tells me, you know what? You're not the one for me. And it's okay. There's someone out there for you. You just not the one for me.
But here's the deal. Oftentimes when it's our own people, that's when the problem comes in. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Anybody that I've ever met, the number one thing I tell people is, look, boo, I'm going to be a star. Come hell or high water, my goal is to be a star. Now, I may not have a pot to piss in, and Lord knows sometimes I may not even have the damn window to throw the piss out of, but I know I'm destined to be a star. Most black guys
Yes.
have never bought into that. They can't get into that. They don't understand and realize this is Chat Daddy on the air. Art Sims come off the air, take these glasses off, pull his hair back. I'm an everyday regular dude scratching and surviving. You get what I'm saying? But
I do.
The white guy or the white guys have been enamored in the fact that I want to be a star. And how is things going? And what do you need? How can I help you? I just think it's the most unique thing ever. But here's the deal.
I've been there too.
Right. We are people, and Lord knows I'm not trying to talk about us, but I think we are so damaged and broke that when we do meet somebody that's positive, progressive,
there you go.
wants to be love and good energy, we are an anomaly. And they actually treat us bad because we are an anomaly. And most black women do what you do, K Renee. Check that background. Who is this?
That's right.
And most of them just don't. They don't cut the mustard. I don't even
That's
know.
right.
I don't even know who to go to next. I don't.
So let me say this. To get what you want, you go to where to go get it. I grew up on the west side of Chicago, and especially when I found myself at the academy, because I too wanted to be a star. I am a star now.
Yes, you are.
But I knew, and here's the thing. Let me tell you what the clicker was for me. I took dance class at Ruth Page Dance Academy.
Oh my!
Right on the Gold Coast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Dearborn, just around Oak Street. Dearborn, Oak Street. Right. But to go home back to the west side, I can either go over to the 66 Chicago Avenue bus, take that west, get off, or I can walk around Cabrini Green to get to Halstead, to take the Halstead bus to get to the 66. That day I walked the Halstead bus and I got jumped by some brothers. They took my troop jacket and they took my Deodora gym shoes. What's my point? Those folk did not have the tools or the wherewithal to want the things that I wanted.
I agree.
I walked through their neighborhood, and I was not going to find the people in that neighborhood who shared my same trajectory. So the people, if I wanted to walk with someone who looked like me, who had a similar trajectory, here's what I learned. A lot of them lived in Hyde Park. A lot of them lived in Pill Hill. A lot of them lived in Deerfield. Some of them even lived in LaGrange. So I couldn't hang out in K-Town expecting to get with someone who's on the same come up as I was.
Exactly. I agree with
had to go where they were.
Right.
And so I wasn't that white person, and I love my godparents. They certainly supported me, but I needed to be with those who looked like me. So I had to go where they were. I had to go where they were.
Right.
I wasn't going to find them in my neighborhood. So I couldn't expect the people on 14th and Ridgeway to have the same come up as I had. I knew we were all walking over needles and dodging bodies and running from gangbangers. So I ran straight to Buffalo Grove. And there were some black folks in Buffalo Grove. I ran over to River City. I'll never forget that girl, Tennille, who lived in River City. I was like, ooh, this is how the other black people live. All right. I'm hanging with Tennille and her parents. Right? I didn't need to be with Becky and Karen because Tennille and her parents were doing the good thing.
Right.
So when you say to me, those brothers couldn't, uphold me and my pursuit, I ask you, if you were looking at brothers who were even in Bronzeville, because I look at the Bronzeville people with a side eye, even in Bronzeville, I go, where you looking? Where you looking?
Okay, so
you can't expect Bebe.
I get you on that. I get you 100%. But now I'm finna really blow your socks off. Most black most Black gay millennials that I'm cool with, that I chit chat and talk with them, we were talking about the whole dating thing. Their dating profiles strictly say, I'm in need of another race. The younger demographic and the younger crowd, especially the Black gays, they are looking for other races to be with. They're not trying to be with their own, because they said that most of the relationships, and I tried to get a couple of them to come on, but they, was like, I don't want to be seen. I get that. Right. But we're just saying
that's problematic. That's problematic. That's problematic. And pardon me as the bishop.
Huh?
Pardon me as the bishop. I'm gonna say this. Can I say this on air? And then I'll repent for it later. That's bullspit.
I'm just telling you.
That's bullshit. You don't want to get online and you don't want to come out front and say it, but you can get behind your little computer and say no Black people. I don't want no niggas, or I don't want no brothers. That's bullspit.
Speak your truth, Bishop.
And that's indicative of a deep problem.
And what is it? Is it hatred, Bishop?
I think it's hatred. I think it's lack of grace. I think it's lack of class. You're gonna look at your father and say, I don't want anybody like you. Now, if your father was a jackass, then I get it. But you're gonna look at the people who have broke their ass to get you here and to provide a space for you to be who you can be, and you can look at them in the face and say, I don't want anything like you. That's problematic. That's deep. And I want to know why and what the root of that is. And it can't just be because the white boy tickled you well.
Interesting. K. Renee, I need your comeback. Look, it looked like we done sucked on a lemon, girl. You okay?
It's just really, it's just deep in how the perspective is. And I have to really just ponder what both of you have said. But one thing that Bishop said is right. If you want that quality person, if it's not in your neighborhood, you have to go where that person is. Right. I definitely agree with that. I also agree that, but at this stage of our lives, it's about being authentic. And if you cannot be authentic, I'm a firm believer in authenticity. And if you cannot be authentic with yourself, how the hell are you going to be authentic with someone that you want to have a partner with?
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's just, it alludes to what I said earlier. When you're trying to get to know people on a deeper level, you got to ask the right questions so you don't waste time. Time is of the essence. And I'm not about to waste time with nobody. I can be by myself if that's where it's supposed to be. But if I'm going to be with someone, I ask those immediate questions. And if I like you, as I said before, what I say, guys, I will vet you. I will look you up.
That's it.
And I will ask those questions. And if you cannot tell me the right answer, I will tell you, okay. And I'll let them know. I said, now, even though I'm a sexual creature, all that, don't get it twisted. My background is an audit. I will check you and say bye-bye. Period. And that's it.
When you mention about people wasting time, my motto for 2020, despite this pandemic and all we've been through, is I'm sick and tired of clock suckers. People, I know y'all thought I said something else.
I know exactly what you meant.
People that are just sucking my hand, that is just not worthy of my time anymore. Exactly. If nothing else, I've regained my time during this pandemic, and I'm so grateful for that and getting rid of clock suckers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not getting rid of
energy vampires.
Huh?
Here's another one though. Or energy vampires, because they suck the energy out of you. Can't deal with that.
Yeah,
right.
We'll cut you loose.
Yes. Hey, Art, Chat Daddy.
Yes.
You trying to get the bishop in trouble, but I'm gonna say, and the people gonna say, what kind of bishop is that? I'm gonna put it like this: in the right confines, in the right construct, you ain't got to get rid of the other one either.
Right. I hope I don't have to get rid of the other ones either. I don't. You eventually hope you meet a good one, and you can commit yourself to the one good one. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna have to have a part two of this show. We're gonna have to have a part two of this show already.
Yes, we will. We will.
Here's the thing.
Huh?
Here's the thing. Ultimately, I believe once you've engaged people authentically, K. Renee.
Yes.
Because here's an aha moment. I actually had it today in devotion. So when we were preparing for this, I kind of got convicted about it. When we come with the strong sense of authenticity, then it doesn't matter what you look like. Because Amen. At the end of the day, we were all created in the image of God.
Yes.
And we were created in so much so that God took a step back and was like, wow, that's good. And so the real criteria is beyond what you look like, can I step back and look at you and go, wow, that's good.
Yes.
And it's not
good
just
indeed.
Good indeed. Not
and
just so exterior, but everything that comes, whatever you ingest comes out of you.
Right.
Right? Whatever you ingest. So the things that come out of you, can I look back and go, wow, that's good indeed. And I want that to build a life with.
Yes.
Black, brown, green, gray, straight, LGBTQ, HIJK, elemental T, whatever it is.
Wait, what is it? Elemental P?
Yes, you went there.
That's too funny. Elemental P, right.
Well, if you internalize and ingest the good stuff, and that's the stuff that comes from you, that's what I'm attracted to. Exactly. That's what I want to build with.
Exactly, because it all stems from love. It all stems from unconditional love. That's what I'm talking about.
But I can't hang my hat on the fact that just because you're white, that means you're automatically right. I can't do that. Just the way you can't say, if I'm black, you got to jump back. I don't mean that. Listen, I got great credit, multiple degrees, great career, been around the world, and like all of that. But you're going to disqualify me just because of my skin? You look stupid as hell.
Well, before
who ain't got a degree, ain't got no money, and ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, but he's white, so he's right. And now you both stand in the trail.
No.
My white was right. My white was really right.
Same as mine.
My white treated me well. Now we sound like we on the auction block. Don't we sound like we on the auction block? Right.
Yeah.
My whitey treated so
same
well.
Here.
My whitey did treat me well. Now my whitey treated. I'm the one that actually got out of pocket and ended the relationship. But my whitey did treat me right now. So
you being black and raising hell and ended up messing up the relationship. You walking stereotype.
No, I don't think that was that. It was just it came to pass in my situation. The thing that, as I said, when he found out that I had lost our child, he was very angry with me because I didn't tell him. It took my father to tell him, you could have been a daddy, and he wasn't ready for that. And so I wanted to spare him, and that's when he said, "Never do that. I'm a man. I want to be there for you, and you wouldn't allow me to." So I had to step back and say, well, maybe in doing that, I was emasculating him. And so, here's the thing though, Bishop, everything happens for a reason. So I was in the mindset that once that happened and we weren't able to come together, it was okay. We're still friends to this day. He will still reach out to me or reach out to him just to say hi. But our ships had passed, and I'm okay with that because I took it as a lesson.
Well, can I ask you a question, Karen?
Sure.
Hey, Renee, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry, because there's like a delay in my computer.
No
Yes.
worries.
Because it was so painful for you to say what had happened, this white guy and all of his sensitivity should have had the wherewithal to go, I understand your pain. It's your body that went through the loss. It's you who had to endure, carry it forever, how long you carried it, and then you lost it. I didn't have to do that. So the greatness of his whiteness should have been like, oh, okay, Renee, let me cradle you, baby. Not because you didn't tell me. What the hell's wrong with you? She couldn't tell you. She was hurting. She was wounded internally, emotionally. Why the hell can't you come up with your white brilliance and say, why do I like you?
You know, it's so funny you say that, Bishop, because the reason why my father was mad, I didn't tell him, was because the exact same thing. He said he should have cut. If you had told him, he should have been did the right thing and come to you. But when you were in pain, you're right.
You didn't even have to tell him. You didn't even have to tell him. He knows you having this baby and it's not going well or something's about to happen.
He didn't know. He didn't know at all because we had ended the relationship. That's why I didn't tell him. It wasn't until after when my father happened to see him. He's like, "Did you know what happened to my baby?" He was like, "What?"
And
that's how it happened.
Did he come back to you to address that?
No, he didn't.
Then right was not right.
Well,
I mean, not to make light of it. I'm not making light of it. I'm not making light of it. But here's what I say. See, he was flawed and he dropped the ball and he was white. That same brother could do that too, but we don't have the grace for him to go, oh, but it was my fault. I should have told him. I didn't tell him. And so, no, we didn't give that black brother the same grace. But we gave that white man the same grace, who, if you probably told him, would chop you up, put you in a Gucci bag, and toss you in the Lake Michigan.
That he wouldn't have done. I can tell you that he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, no, let me not make light of it. But I just wonder if we can extend each other. That's what it's about for me. So when that girl said that on the bus that day, ooh, I'm glad I'm black. I just don't do black men. I went, ooh.
Wow.
Where's the grace? Where's the grace? And now hearing you, if I weren't in a position, I wouldn't even want you. You disgust me right now.
Wow.
Because when the rubber meets the road, can you be there for that brother who needs you? The expectation he's going to be there and provide for you.
Well,
but
to answer your question, Bishop, I was there for my ex-husband. That's, we'll definitely have to do another segment about dating and marrying, because I was that person for my ex-husband, and unfortunately he did not reciprocate. So can
I ask you, can I play counselor for a second?
Go ahead.
And can I ask you what was it that he wasn't able to do?
He wasn't able to be emotional.
And why is that? Why is that?
He had a lot of different issues. One being, and I can say this, he was molested by his dad at age 6. I knew that going into my marriage. I wanted to be there for him. But here's the thing though, Bishop. The unfortunate thing in our marriage, among anything else, I was abused verbally, physically, emotionally, and financially in that relationship. But I will say this, I'm grateful that I went through that, because then after going through that, I know what I'm looking for in my next life partner, my next mate. So.
Right. So I would say, see, I'm a survivor of sexual abuse.
Okay.
I'm a survivor. I was sexually abused from the ages of 9 through 13.
Okay.
And it certainly shaped, and I didn't have a father in the home, right? I had a great godfather, I had great mentors, but I didn't have a model in the home, right? And so I know for me, a lot of, especially my sexual propensities, right? A lot of that was shaped by the abuse, right? And me trying to gain a control that was taken from me. And so I came into relationships very heavy-handed, right? Not only did I come very heavy-handed, but I didn't have necessarily the tools to allow me to be vulnerable, because when I was vulnerable, I was abused.
Right.
And so your husband, and that's just one thing, I don't know him, but I can tell you right off the bat that he didn't have the tools to love you rightly, because when he was open in a space that was supposed to protect him, dropped him.
Right.
It's like that, brother. What do you say? Is there anybody in the house of Makir that I can show kindness to? Yeah, there's Mephibosheth, and Mephibosheth was broken, jacked up by someone who was supposed to protect him. And so now that dropping shaped Mephibosheth's whole life. And the king had to offer him grace beyond how jacked up his lineage was, because he didn't have the tools to be or do anything else. And so that's why I say we as Black people, we got so much trauma. We got to give each other the grace. And that doesn't mean we got to be anybody's beating board, because you got to go around. If he cuss you out every day and hit you upside the head every day, then you got to get the hell up out of there, and he's got to get some help. But it takes the wherewithal to go, brother, you're not well. And I love you enough to get the hell out of here to create room for you to get yourself together.
I did.
That kind of grace. Yeah.
I did.
All right. Well, now.
And I love you for it. And I thank you. I thank you. And I pray, and I will pray. And I'm not saying this is the case, but my prayer for all of us is that we're not shaped by others' dysfunction, or we don't allow the brokenness of other people to dictate how we deal with the rest of us who look like us.
Exactly.
Well, you've said a mouthful this evening, sir. And really, no. That was the nightcap. That was the cherry on top to our conversation this evening, because really, we started off talking about interracial relationships. But as we've been talking, I've been note-taking mentally that we need to talk about just so many things, the broken pieces, because Bishop, I will agree with you. I think that we have no idea what real love is about, because all of us have truly been broken so bad that when somebody does want to say, hey, real love, let's grow together, let's make a commitment, let's work this, people are just so dysfunctional and broken, they don't get that concept. Idea. I think that African-American relationships are at an all-time low because we don't believe in love. We just don't. And that's a whole nother show. And then you both talking about the sexual abuse. I think that's a whole nother show that we need to have. I just really, this has brought me to tears, because really, you know, I wanted us to talk about the black and white aspect, but this goes back to the fact that we need to clean out our own houses and become more healthy, whole, and complete people. And that's what I'm getting from this. This is exactly what I'm getting from this. I've been asked to bring you guys back for a Relationship Thursday. It's a whole series of shows that we need to have as a result of tonight's conversation. Bishop, closing, what do you want to say to everybody? And then K. Renee, I'm gonna let you close out real quick. Before we do that, tomorrow night, I have a wonderful friend of mine who will be joining me, the incredible Miss Terry Bell. She is a former law enforcement officer turned flight attendant turned entrepreneur. Terry has created wonderful masks with matching fans, Karen. So when you hot, honey, they are.
I still go through menopause, so yes, I need that.
Look, I said, look, between them, menopause, and I'm always hot. I got a fan on me now, so I cannot wait. So my good friend Terry Bell will be here tomorrow night, and I will probably give you guys some travel tips, We'll talk about her new product, and we'll talk about some other things. But I'm excited to welcome one of my good friends to be on here with us tomorrow night. Bishop, in closing, what do you want to say?
K. Renee, I love you.
I love you more, Bishop. Thank you so much for being part of this.
You just my whole heart is
Thank
full.
you.
I was ready for us to be like, what's that, Art?
I'm the best matchmaker ever. I know exactly who to put on these shows together now.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Yeah, I want us to get whole so that whoever we end up with, we're not bringing all this baggage and craziness and trauma.
Right.
But that we can, whether we extend in grace to our own or that we enter into others with grace, that we can do the work of healing and get to the root of our brokenness so that we don't try to build these relationships on these kind of wild notions that others are better simply because they're race.
Exactly.
But because they've internalized and we've internalized what the Creator has put to internalize, and that we can look back at each other and go, wow, that's very good indeed. And that's what I want to build with. That's my hope.
Okay. All right.
That's
Great job. Great job. K. Renee, in closing, darling, what do you want to say?
Wow, my heart is full. Art, thank you so much for allowing me to be on this platform tonight. Bishop, we've got to keep in touch because even though you're a Broadway star, there's a song in me and I love to sing. So we'll talk about that later. I am just truly blessed to be part of a forum that can be authentic and talk about these type of topics without any repercussion, because now is the time. We need to be honest and authentic with each other. And so I'm looking forward for the three of us to talk again about this and other topics. And I'm going to leave with this nugget that remember, you were given this life because you were strong enough to live it. So we are strong enough, regardless of what we grow through, because we are truly spiritual beings and having all these human experiences, but we are strong because we are made in the image and likeness of our Heavenly Father. And for that, I am so grateful for. So Art, again, thank you. I wanted to send a special shout out to one of my cousins who's been on, Nate Ridgway. Thanks, hon, for viewing us.
Nate is on the show a lot. We appreciate him.
Yeah, he's my cousin, another Whitney Young Dolphin man. So I love him to life. Says thank you, Nate, and thank you, Dr. H. Heather, who also Whitney Young Dolphin woman. Art, I just love you to life. I'm so glad that you just bring people to be authentic and to speak their truth. And so for that, Art, I love you even more. And I'll be baking my sweet potato pie soon. And just so you know, Bishop, if you need a sweet potato pie, we got to talk about that too. I got you.
Yeah. Look, if Bishop come to town, I can make sure, at my place, I got 6 feet of space between each couch and chair, and I believe it, but we can have a little social distance get together when Bishop comes to Chicago.
That sounds like a plan.
I'm coming in September.
Okay.
I'm coming in September.
We'll have, look,
that's my birthday. That big birthday gift. All right.
I even have a temperature checker now. So when you come near me, I check your temperature. Oh, I carry it with me.
Come on. And I bake a mean cheesecake so we can do cheesecake and sweet potato.
There you go.
And then listen, do you both eat seafood?
I see food and I eat it. Yes.
Well, I make a wonderful seafood dressing. I'll have to make my seafood. See, September ushers in seafood dressing season.
Okay. And that's my
Nice.
birth month. I celebrate the whole month of September. That's when I go rogue.
All right. All
You
right.
come with a whole different life when you came.
I love you both. I've connected you on social media. See what I do? This is what I do. Well,
You were the
ladies,
matchmaker.
thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of
That's
both
it.
wonderful co-host this evening, Bishop Damone Seraphin out of New York, and Kay Renee of Karen's Nuggets, a daily dose of inspiration on social media every day. I thank you guys so very much. Don't forget, do me a favor, go over to YouTube and like The Real Chat Daddy Show on YouTube. Head on over to Facebook, The Real Chat Daddy Show there on Facebook. Also, go to Twitter and Periscope and like The Real Chat Daddy Show there. Tomorrow night, I'll be back with another wonderful show. If you missed tonight's show, you can always go to therealchatdaddy.com. Again, therealchatdaddy.com for encore performances of the show, as well as YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of all of my co-hosts tonight, good night, you guys. I love you. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you must wear your mask. Please put your mask on.
Wash your hands.
Wear your mask. Please sanitize. Do whatever you can to sanitize. Wash your hands with soap and water. Social distance. Go put that mask on. Come on now. Woo, ain't nothing like a bald-headed black man with a mask on. Clutch my pearls. Clutch my pearls. Lord, look at that. Look at that. Yes.
Oh,
all right. We love you guys so very much. On behalf of everybody, thank you guys. I am Chat Daddy. What a great show tonight. And we are out of here. I love you guys so very much. And see you tomorrow night. Here we go. All right, we are out. Give me 2 minutes. Podcast. Yay.
That was